to my lovely clients. How is everybody on Friday, our wonderful Zoom Friday of the month? Um, Today, I am just going to kind of touch base with everybody on some of the updates, some COVID, some not. Give you guys kind of what we went over with the staff, just a little less in depth on some of it because a lot of it, has to do with them, not you guys so much. So great to hear that a lot of clients are reaching out to the office. They were having some issues with being able to see the videos. So I think I got it fixed. Fingers crossed. We have it all taken care of and it's easily accessible to everybody. This is just kind of an update to let you guys also in on some of the information that we're giving to the staff because, well, I think it's just as important. So updates from my side. The office reminded me to let you guys know that we changed over our payroll information for the staff. So staff now will see kind of a different pay stub. If there's any confusion, please don't hesitate to have them reach out. The reason we did it is we wanted to let people see exactly how they were getting paid and what the breakdowns were for each kind of division of jobs. And we followed under the state mandates, so at least everybody can now see it. It's going to fix some of the payroll issues, I think, for people that are a little bit confused on why they get paid what they get paid. So for clientele, just so you know, they all have a base rate now. The base rate will be whatever the state is plus whatever their years of experience and stuff like that is, the raises and things that they've received over time. And then each job that they have, depending on what it is, PCA, homemaker, any of those things, will have its own dollar amount, which is the increase from the base rate up to whatever that job qualifications take them to. Some upwards of $14, $15, $16 an hour. So just so you guys know that there is that, so that you guys can also, if your staff kind of seems confused or has questions or maybe hasn't watched the video yet and then they get their face up and say something to you, remind them to reach out if they have questions. It really has not changed what they are paid at all. It's just going to make it a little more clear so people can see that. Reminder, Monday is a holiday. It's Labor Day. So if you are not considered essential, and that doesn't mean you're not important, it just means the state has not deemed it that you cannot be left alone and that you cannot get yourself to your safety and to places that make sense. It'll be on the front of your folder. If you are not essential, Monday is a day off for your staff. They get the holiday off. So again, if your kiddos are not essential and you have to work, it is your responsibility as a parent to take care of the holiday. The PCA staff are not allowed to work unless the kiddo has a significant amount of disabilities that the state has seen them as essential, meaning that it is not 100% parent responsibility. With that being said, also time cards are still due on Monday at noon. They actually will be processed on Monday still. As much as our office doors will not be open, there is a processing system that we have to run on Monday, and this is every payroll Monday. If we don't process them in time, they will not get paid out on Friday, and we've had a few times where the HR staff, Misty and Lori, are spending quite a bit of hours chasing time cards, chasing things that can be controlled easily by just everybody doing what they need to do. Obviously, CareTap does have some app issues, so do not take this as a you guys are always wrong kind of thing. CareTap has had some issues, and I know that, but as long as we are able to maintain those issues and keep them to the very minimum, the best thing we can do is make sure our time cards are in and signed and that you guys are taking those steps so that you're not being chased. It is a client responsibility to help those staff members. As much as you guys are clients, it doesn't mean that you guys aren't able to help make sure that that gets done on time. Staff also have been told, and clients should have received it, if you are using the phone dial-in option because your house doesn't have internet or it just doesn't like to catch or whatever, the 4,000 other reasons that you can't use the app, there is now one phone number for CareTap. There's no more having to call in under each individual phone number for each individual job. It's literally one phone number. From there, each job has an extension. That extension then punches you into that job and so on and so forth. The instructions have been mailed out to the staff that are using that. I believe it's been mailed to the clients that have been using that. It is available on the ADP app for the staff for their payroll, so they have the access, and we will be putting it on our website. I know it's a lot of information, but again, it's a big deal for those clients that may not have access to an app or may not have access to an internet base. This is a great option. The dial-in phone number does have to be dialed on the client's essential phone number. So if it's a landline, their cell phone, whatever. So just make sure whatever phone number is listed on the file for the client is the number you're using, or it will not show up correctly and it will ping you in the wrong location. If you're experiencing issues or your staff is experiencing issues with the apps not working for CareTop, remind everybody to refresh that app. Make sure you guys are going up to the little cog in the corner of the app and clicking refresh. If your staff is still having issues, obviously they can reach out to Brina or any of the management staff, but she kind of handles all of it, and get help. A lot of times we're finding that certain phones have to actually have the app deleted and re-downloaded, which sounds crazy, but we are working with the makers of the product to try and get it so that it will force it through. The issue is it's not like social media where there's hundreds of billions of dollars jammed into it so that everything's flawless and it's pretty and everybody wants to play with it. It's local companies working together to make sure that we have an app that the government is okay with, because heaven forbid we not know where everybody is when they punch in and punch out. Don't get me wrong, we've actually used it to verify some information before, and we've actually had to, deal with some staff issues on it. So it is legitimate, but again, make sure you guys are helping out. You as clients do have some options. Next, transportation concerns. That has been something that has been brought to my attention quite a bit over the last few months. I know that many of the bus companies aren't running as frequently. They're not as willing to pick people up. There's a lot of rules that come with it. Med transportation's become an issue. There's not as many running. And then on top of it, the taxis and things like that have cut way back. And obviously, ride shares have even gone pretty much away. So let's start with step one. Transportation under the PCA is very minimal. The state really does not want PCAs transporting clients all over the countryside. With that being said, on your care plan, we do offer that they can help you guys go get groceries and do the essential things. And over 10 miles, it is the client's responsibility to make sure that the staff is being reimbursed, because they're not a free taxi cab. This is not your way around having to pay for transportation. Your staff is not paid enough money to be your taxi. Now, many of you have worked out options with your staff, and that is totally up to you guys. The requirement is, if you and your staff have worked something out, that it be documented. So if you have worked something out with your staff, it needs to be put into the care notes on your actual time card with your staff, so that you guys are both signing that this has been okayed. We've gotten complaints on both sides. I got complaints that clients are paying staff too much money and it's not documented, so it's that. Then I've gotten complaints on the staff side that says clients are taking advantage of it and they won't sign my time card unless I take them to this store or that store. They won't do this, they won't do that, and they're being threatened. That is not okay with me. Clients and staff are here to work together, and it's how this community has been built from day one. We are a family, and I expect it to be treated as such. I opened the company for the respect of people with disabilities and for including my own family members who have disabilities and need services. I do not expect my staff to be at a beck and call or to do anything way outrageous just because it's my kids or my mom or any of those things. I expect for everybody to follow the same rules. So for staff and clients on each side, it does not matter to me. I expect you to treat each other with the same respect you would want to be treated with. And remember, say it constantly, the staff is not a taxi service. They are here to assist. On that being said, there is a few counties that have stepped up and said that if somebody is in dire need of transportation and it can't be done through medical rides, then and only then can we work something out, usually with the county directly, either where the medical transportation gets transferred over to B's home care and we're able to allow the staff to do it and then turn it in on their time cards and we reimburse them for it. Some counties are asking that we use the medical assistance mileage reimbursement form. What that will do is have you and your staff members sign off that you guys went to the doctor, you went to physician assistant, you went to physical therapy, whatever those different things might be. And when that signature hits that, they'll turn it into the county, and the county will reimburse that staff member directly. Again, this is not a guarantee. It doesn't mean everybody gets it. It means we have to have approval for it, but it's something that we're willing to work with you on if it's a dire need. If you have a vehicle, most counties will not, and I say this nicely, reimburse for mileage because you own a vehicle. It is your responsibility. So please make sure you guys are documenting and doing it appropriately. It is a big deal. We have to know about it. We have to know what's going on. I know it sucks. We're already in your business all the time. But again, it's protection for the client just as much as the staff. And we remind our staff all the time, the more documentation, the more protection. And it's not that anybody's doing anything wrong, but if the state walks through my doors, I don't want it to be my problem, and I don't want it to be your problem. I want them to see it in a very black and white format where we can say, no, this is done approved. Each side knows of it. Everybody has agreed on it. All information is out there. COVID check boxes are a requirement. You do have to work with your staff on their time cards that check the box that says, I have no signs or symptoms of COVID. The reason this is because no different than going into a clinic or anywhere else. Today I went into the ER and got asked. You have to document that you guys are going through those check boxes. They are the only way we can document that you guys are following the rules and regulations as they're set forward. At this point, we are being told that there is a possibility within the next few months that there will be a requirement that we have to test these staff members every 2 weeks or once a month for COVID. If that comes into play, I worry that we're going to lose some staff members because that's a lot of time for them to dedicate to being tested. So I ask you guys, please, please, please make this a very huge priority so that we're not having to undertake those requirements of testing and worry and all those fun things as school kicks back in, school is kicking back in. And when that happens, obviously there's always a chance that we're going to have an outbreak in these communities. So let's not add to it. So keep your mask on. It's not fun. Follow the rules and regulations. Listen when people are saying things, and make sure you and your staff are working closely together to keep everything clean, clear, and COVID free. So when we're checking these boxes, we honestly can check them and say we've talked about it. All right. So that was kind of the big stuff for your staff this time. The last thing we had to go over with staff, and I do want to touch base on it with you as clients, is the sexual violence prevention program that's focusing on community level changes, strategies to minimize the risk of sexual violence, including concepts of health and wellness, relationships, consent, body anonymity of people for disabilities or with disabilities. So on our website, I will be adding a bunch of documents about this. None are really super sweet and easy to read through. All of them are pretty blunt. But one of the big things that has come from all of this is that there is a lot of people that have kind of found themselves on the outside of life, and that's not fair. So the LGBT community, oh my goodness, it's a lot of letters, has felt very left out in the means of clients not feeling like people are respecting their life choices, clients feeling like family members may not be respecting their life choices, people just out in the community not respecting each other. So one of the training pieces that we talked about with our staff on this Zoom call is that if a client feels the ability to give you information, it doesn't mean they have to share it with your family. That client is feeling safe in the situation they have with you directly as a staff member. If you have maybe come out to a family and they're not ready to handle it, or they don't understand it and you feel like you need some assistance with that, again, we told the staff to please reach out, and we're saying it to you guys too. We can and will initiate conversations with families, and there is ways to conversate with families without it feeling like an attack or feeling like they're being told they're wrong. Um, I want to be able to have these conversations. I know that I've met with families in the late past here, not far along, but just a while ago, that have figured out that they have children that might be bisexual or maybe sexually not what they were born with. And that's okay. They want to dress like girls and they're boys, or girls want to dress like boys. You know, the old stigmatism of girls are to be pretty and not get dirty and whatever, and boys are to go hunting and fishing and do all that fun jazz, and that's what boys do. That's not reality. Including myself. I'm a girl. I enjoy getting muddy. I enjoy going out fishing, and I go out and do my stuff. I don't need to have my spouse do it for me. I may be little, I may be short, but I'm still fierce. And I might just be a girl because that's how I was born. It's not a problem to be born a girl and want to get dirty. It's not a problem to be born a boy and not want to get dirty. That doesn't make them somebody else. So again, as clients of Bees Home Care, I expect that you guys will respect our staff the same way we want them to respect you. Some of our staff members are transgender, and that is completely 100% their right. It is your right to let us know that you're not comfortable with that and that you possibly don't want that staff member to work with you. But I say this wholeheartedly. Many of them are probably the sweetest people you'll ever meet. So don't just opt them out because they look different or because they're not what you expect or it's not part of your belief system. Give people a chance. Take a step back and look at them for who they are, not what they are, not what color they are, not what religion they are, not their sexual preference, but who they are. What is that person doing that is not okay? Is it you that has a bias, or is it just not a fit? If it's a bias, this is where it's time to grow. We have a lot of generations right now that are intermixing, and there is a lot of generations that are learning new things. The younger generation, under 18, has this ingrained in them. They honestly grew up with multiple sexualities, multiple different ethnicities, and everything else. We have the generation of over 80 who grew up where everybody was very separated and there wasn't gay people out and people didn't talk about it openly, and that in their world this is just so crazy that this is even happening. It's a hard line for some people, and so all we can do is train and talk and educate. I'm not saying you have to give up any of your beliefs, and I sure in the heck am not saying you have to have somebody working with you that you don't want. What I'm saying is please, please, please take this chance and step out of your comfort zone and work with people. Learn about them. Understand them. Understand why they feel the way they do. No different than you. You don't want somebody looking at you because you're in a wheelchair and going, what's the matter with them? Or maybe your child has autism like mine, and he's running around outside in a Batman costume at 900 degrees out, and it's like pajamas, and jumping around screaming and having just a good old time because in his world that's okay. I want everybody treated the same. My son is no different than anybody else. He just likes to go out and live life to the fullest and dress up as he pleases. And as long as he has clothes on, I won't lie, I'm ecstatic. And so should you be. You know? There's no reason to treat somebody different just because they look different or act different. So as much as a client has a right to people treating them with respect, your staff has got the same right. So please do that. Please be honest. Please have open lines of communication with your staff. Now, on the sexual side of all this, it's a hard conversation to have, and it's never fun. But I do know that we're dealing with it on many sides. Our foster care system is being overrun right now with a lot of children that have had sexual abuse done to them. There's some pretty fierce stuff that's been happening that we've been working on just because it's just stuff that we can't control, but God forbid that hopefully at some point we can stop it. Um, so if your staff member um, isn't as able to have a conversation about sex or about any of that stuff, respect it. Take a step back. If your staff member is a little more open about sex than you want, again, say something. Education of people around you isn't always frustration or being mean or yelling at somebody. Sometimes it's just as much as saying, that's not where I'm comfortable. That conversation about that type of sex is not my thing. Please, let's not. Or if your staff looks at you and says, okay, I know a little more than I should about your sex life, respect it. We know from the staff side that most of you are no different than anybody else and have sexual intercourse and have your preferences and do what you're going to do. That's your right. And I don't want those stepped on. But I also have a right to tell my staff that they can draw a line in the sand and tell you that they're not there for that purpose. So again, have those open communications with your staff members and make sure you guys have some understanding of what is appropriate conversation, what's funny, who enjoys to laugh about certain things, what's offensive. Before you offend each other, if you have a conversation of kind of, I don't think it's funny to laugh about somebody that's got hot pink hair and looks like they probably should have dyed it again because now it looks like Pepto Bismol. If they don't think it's funny, then don't talk about it. Call it good at that minute. Going into another step, just because somebody's a different color, just because somebody has a different religion, just because somebody dresses differently, doesn't mean as a client you can say things that are mean or say things that are not appropriate because you're the client and you can do no wrong. In this company, that's not how it works. And I'm just going to say it straight out. I expect my clients and my staff to be treated as each other. If you're a client, treat your staff as if they're a client. If you're a staff member, treat your client as if they're a staff member. And I say this wholeheartedly because that is the best way to have the best relationship with your staff and your clients. These rules have been set by me 13 years ago. This company was built on dual respect. I have never, ever in my life believed that clients can do no wrong, and I've never, ever believed that staff can do no wrong. I believe in investigation. I believe in verification. And, constructive negotiation is a big one. But I expect on both sides that everybody can do this together. And if we can keep our family, these home care, as a group, working together, pushing forward, and doing everything we can to respect each other and keep boundaries where they lie, we will keep this program strong. We can take on the world, guys. All you clients are so important, and all the staff that stands next to you and fights for you guys. It gives you guys so much standing if you guys treat them with the same respect. And I understand COVID has not been fun. It's not fun to have people telling you what to do and how to do it and stuff like that. But on the other side of it, look at it from the standpoint of these staff care. They're still showing up on a daily basis. They're still doing their job. Many places either furloughed people and cut their hours and decided they just weren't going to construct business during this because it was easier. Many places and people decided, well, I have an easy out. I don't have to work right now because of one reason of the 15 that they have. Your staff is showing up. They're doing their job. They're fighting the front line. No different than your doctors, your nurses, all the other people that get free lunch and dinner delivered to their offices and whatever and whatever. Yeah, we do as much as we can on the home care side to give rewards and love on everybody we possibly can. But I have limited, for lack of better term, funds and stuff that I can throw at this. So I have to ask you guys to please, again, remember These staff members did not say, I give up, or, well, the government's going to give me an extra couple bucks a week to just stay home, so I don't have to work. They're showing up, they're doing their job. So I expect as a client that you can show up and do your job and work with them and make life good for you and for them. As always, on our website, we have many, many resources for anything I talked about today. Understand your staff, respect your staff, work tight with your staff. Keep in mind that the office staff, they're there for you guys. There's only 5 of them with me, and we fight day in and day out to get you guys everything we possibly can in the world. But you guys step up and you do your part, it makes our job much easier as we are going through these processes and steps and changes. Some of these rules come in and have to be implemented within 12 hours, and that is not an easy thing to do. So respect each other, work together, listen to what's actually happening. And I say don't again, just read Facebook and take it as face value. Facebook said it, it means it's real. Not at all. Please listen, look, research, do those things. Make sure you have proper information and know that no matter what it is, if you have questions or concerns, reach out via email or a phone call. Usually email gets me much easier at office@behomecareinc.com. I will get an answer to you, and it doesn't even just have to be home care related, as most of you know. I send my love, and with all that being said, I will see you in 30 days again, hopefully with everybody well, and hopefully COVID going away. We'll keep in touch, read your emails, make sure your time cards are done to the best of your ability, and share all the happiness we can while this is all happening. Again, we love you, we stay in touch, and hopefully in 30 days we can say this is all done and we can get back to normal. Goodbye from me to you. Have a great day.